Hello, everybody. What's happening today? So, we're going to try something a little different, and this is going to be a lot shorter. Today, I wanted to do a comic showcase, specifically about one in particular character that I love, but talking about one story that I think it didn't solidify my interest in comics, it solidified my love of comics in general, and that is Deadman Exorcism. Deadman Exorcism was released on the 1st of January 1992. It is a two-part miniseries, or one-shot as you could call it. And it is based around the DC Comics character Deadman, who was created in Action Comics? No, he was created in Strange Adventures. I'll find which issue, but I think it's Strange Adventures back in like the 50s or something. He was created. Strange Adventures 1967, there we go. And then he appeared in Action Comics from 1978 onwards. He's in Action Comics issues 459 to about 466. We then got Deadman Volume 1 in 1985, Deadman Volume 2 in 1986. He then appeared in Action Comics from 1988 in issues 601 to 612, 618 to 626, and 642. Back in 1989, we had Deadman Love After Death. And then in the beautiful year of 1992, we had Deadman Exorcism. Exorcism is a very, very interesting book. Now, again, it showcases some of the art from the great Kelly Jones, and in my opinion, apart from him doing Batman, this is the best character he could have worked with. His art is phenomenal on page. It's almost like he was meant to draw this particular story. So the breakdown is Insanity has claimed Deadman as he embraces madness to escape the loneliness of his existence. For the first time, Boston Brand truly becomes a ghost in heart and mind, bitter and vengeful, and ready to wreak havoc on any living person unlucky enough to cross his path. Now, a lot of people might be a little bit confused by that, as to him being part of the superhero and Justice League Dark and everything like that. People know him as a good guy. The basic premise of this story is that he has been dead for so long that he has forgotten he is not alive. He has kind of gone from being dead man and having all the power that he has and being aware of everything. But in this, he is stuck in a nexus in a church, and he is losing his memories of being alive and of his previous memories of being a ghost. Now, he's been dead for a good long time at this point, but when he comes to this church, however he ends up there, he starts to lose all those memories, and he starts to become an actual vengeful ghost. So Deadman Exorcism revisits the angst-ridden world of Deadman in his new home, a deserted Vermont church, a church not even he realizes is the deadly nexus of an arcane convergence. Sorry, I should have maybe just read this out instead of explaining it. Swept into that vortex along with him are the Phantom Stranger, Madame Waxahachie, a trio of evil spirits, and a plague of demons seeking to escape from hell. Now, the book is quite graphic. There's sexual depictions in it. It is dark. It is. How do I put it? I think reading comics all my life, and then I came across this one. This one showed me that comics didn't have to be for kids, young adults, or anyone else. There is comics out there that are written for adults, like full adults, because the themes of this particular comic, they're a lot darker and a lot harder to grasp than the stuff you would have today. It showed me that, like, the types of things that, like, The Boys, Invincible, even Watchmen, and all these other adult orientated stories, they don't have a tap on what this goes into. I think other comics that are made for adults attempt to be edgy and attempt to be kind of, oh, look, there's assault and murder and this and that and everything. This does it in a completely different way. It strips it down to its bare bones. There's nudity in it, there's adult themes in it, but the story is told as if you're not a child and you're not a young person and you have the mental capacity to be able to take this and to be able to take what the story is dishing out. And the way it does it is absolutely beautiful. As I said, the art is by Kelly Jones, and the story was written by Mike Barron. If there is any comic that I could give a 10 out of 10 to, it would be this. I wouldn't actually give it a 10, I would give it like a 20 out of 10. It easily turns everything up to 11. It is one of my favorites, and I cannot recommend it enough. As an adult reader, if you haven't gotten around to it already, I would highly recommend it. I would also recommend Deadman in general as a character. Outside of Batman and Nightwing, I think Deadman is easily my third favorite comics character of all time. Something about his storyline and his background and everything else just works. So as I mentioned earlier on, you have Deadman Volume 1, 1985, Volume 2, 1986, and Volume 3 comes out actually in 2002. Volume 4 came out 4 years later in 2006. And another great recommendation, if you get into these, would be Deadman, Dark Mansion, and Forbidden Love, which came out in 2016. Another great comic. I think obviously I might be a little bit biased because I just love the character, but it really worked for me. And is another recommendation based on the same art style and everything. And it's very, very similar to Exorcism in the sense that it's a kind of a one-shot story. It's contained and it's, minimal on characters. But if you wanted to get into the character, this is where I would start. Another great mention before we finish up is Batman, Deadman, Death and Glory. It was collected and came out in a trade paperback in '97. So, unknowingly possessed by an evil spirit, Batman brutally slaughters a restaurant full of customers. Regaining consciousness with no recollection of the events, the Dark Knight detective must solve the mystery of his own killing spree. Aided by the mythical Deadman, Batman begins to piece together the clues of his possession, but as the involvement of malevolent mages and a supernatural emissary of Satan is discovered, Batman must find a way to combine his human abilities with Deadman's paranormal powers to defeat the unholy entity. Now, this one is written actually by Denny O'Neil. Um, it's just a quick shout out just to showcase the character and to tie it back to Batman as usual. You think this might be my favorite story, but Exorcism still takes the cake. But as a story of Batman actually killing people and then trying to investigate what happened, I would highly recommend this one just as a shout out. I hope you enjoyed these quick comic showcases. If you want other recommendations and other quick videos like this, please let me know and hit me up in the comments.